Greetings and welcome back to Cities Skylines Natural Disasters, where we are undergoing a boomtown revolution. That's right, we have become a boomtown. Snow Britannia is a boomtown. I mean, it's several boomtowns if we're being accurate, but nonetheless, as an aggregate, it is considered a boomtown. So we have various new things that we've unlocked, you know, good old trams. We've got to get some trams going. We absolutely need some trams. Also buses, various transport, revolutionize, wizarding taxis, great things like that, ore specializations. I believe there's some ore in the mythical land of Ireland, which one day we might arrive in and brutally exploit. New policies, recycling, recreational use of, potions, wizard potions. Extra insulation, no electricity for heat, only electricity for heat, and helicopter priority. Can we build helicopters? I'd love a helicopter. I might have to build a helicopter very soon. We also have various new bits of road, water pipes with heating pipes, bus depot, cemetery, advanced wind turbines, taxi depot, tram depot, geothermal heating plant, boiler station, medical helicopter depot. I want this thing. You have to have helicopters flying around the Highlands. That's just the way it works. Small emergency shelter, short radio mast, disaster response unit, tank reservoir cemetery, and catacombs, which I believe is possibly a moz. A moz? A mod? A maze of catacombs lie beneath this graveyard. I don't know. We'll see, won't we? Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Plus it came with a big whack of cash, which is always nice. The city is expanding. Everything is becoming good. Look at newly unlocked buildings. They've literally only just unlocked. What is this? Friedhof Cemetery. Ooh. Friedhof Cemetery? Also, the catacombs, of course. A maze of catacombs which lie beneath the city. Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. We've got assorted cemeteries. We also got just regular cemeteries, but this looks lovely. It costs 40 grand. Whereas the regular one, to be fair, only costs 8 grand. So let's just get a regular cemetery. And I think probably it needs to go in our more heavily populated area. We'll put an Invernessian cemetery in at some point. But for now, should we have this just tucked away somewhere nice, possibly just opposite the city snow dump? Yeah, right there. That's the best. Look, that's the best place for it. The city snow dump. So basically you can come, you can visit your sadly deceased relatives, and then you can go across the road and just play in the snow dump. You can build igloos, you can have snowball fights. This could be kind of like sculpted into anything you wanted. It could be one massive snow sculpture. That would be truly astonishing. It would be the best. But it's not currently. Maybe we can make it into like a giant snow mushroom. Look, this person right here, they've just plunged in. They just came charging out of the cemetery after visiting a deceased relative, came in here and just threw themselves into the pile of snow in one go, just burrowed into it. Who knows where they will find themselves, if indeed they will ever emerge. Perhaps they will become some kind of snow spirit. Why are you cutting down all the trees? Well, we're cutting down the trees because it's industry, foresting industry. Does that mean it's arrived up here in the still as yet named Monster Tree Hill? Because this is being recorded immediately after the previous episode. It's a bit snowy up here. We might need another snow dump up in the north because we don't really necessarily want our snowmobiles to have to make that long drive all the time. Look, there's an emergency happening. There's an emergency going on. It's still going on. An ambulance is tearing along the road. Can we tag ourselves to this? Whoop. There we go. Come on. There it is. We're going to follow the ambulance, the wizarding ambulance, which of course shall be known now as Wizulance. We're going to follow the Wizulance. Wizulance? Anyway, we're going to follow it as it tears up into the north to discover, oh, that's right, yeah, we do have a bit of a flooding problem in Inverness. We better deal with that. The ambulance is not attending to the flooding issue. It doesn't care, apparently, about the flooding issue. But the people of Inverness really do care. They really do not want to live in flooded houses. What can we do about this? Could we build a dam? I don't think we actually have the ability to build a dam yet. We don't. We can't dam it. Damn it. Ski towers. Ski slope light pole. Hello, 21st century. I'm glad the mayor is brave enough to consider nuclear power as a valid option for electricity. What? That's a nuclear power? Is this a nuclear-powered ski lab? That seems unlikely. And it certainly doesn't solve our problems here either. It may be this road. It may be the terrain deformation caused by this road. What if we, like, delete that? The flooding is getting worse. The flooding is getting much, much worse. Delete that. Alright, there we go. This might be it. We might have saved the city. The floodwaters are just like surging now back down the original path. Having a second bridge across the river here was clearly a terrible, terrible idea. We've created like a little pond here. But I think that has done it. I think that might well have solved our flooding problems for the city of Inverness. Look, the little flooding signs are popping and disappearing. This is a flooded bit of road which is now possibly like frozen to sheer ice, causing issues. Maybe this car is like been abandoned and just, you know, completely... I've just deleted the road. That was not what I intended to do. Sorry, peoples. Sorry, your Wizarding Mayor has kind of lost it a little bit. Well, I suppose we could leave that like that, but let's not. There we go. The road's back. The car has been dealt with. It has been disappeared. The donut vans are back, patrolling the streets of New Inverness, doing what they do best, which is presumably selling donuts to people when those people are not flooded and in a dire position. Really, really quite horrible position. I think this road is just incredibly icy. Hopefully nobody tries to drive on it, because if they do, they might just go sliding away into the far beyond, possibly off into the River Ness, which is an angry river. 'Tis an angry river. Does that count as our first natural disaster? It wasn't really natural, to be fair. It was very much caused by actions of the Wizarding Mayor. We have like worker need issues going on here. How's our education? Can we build that helicopter depot? Medical helicopter depot, 80,000 it'd be costing. We cannot afford, but we will be able to afford it at some point in the future. Just not now, unfortunately. Anything else that we might be able to like plonk down whilst we're here? Look, we've got all these like random weird mods. Let's get rid of those. It's fine. We'll come back to them later. Do we want a rural fire department up in Inverness? What's the cost? 6,288 per week. It might be worth thinking about. Not just yet, but once we expand to the other side and this becomes a bit more of a thriving... Look at that. Look at that demand for people. Alright, let's do it. Let's expand to the other side of the river. We'll have this road come up either side like this. That. There we go. That's going to work, isn't it? That's going to keep the floodwaters at bay. Almost certainly. It's going to be perfect, and possibly we can like rebuild this bridge over here. Look, if we're like super careful. Do we dare risk that? Do we dare risk that causing flooding again? We've done it. Is it going to cause the flooding? The waters are rising. The waters are rising. I think they might be contained though. We've got power issues. What? Oh, we need more power generation. Alright, fine. More power generation. Let's go with an advanced wind turbine for ultra power generation capabilities. Oh, we can put that actually up here, look. Water required. Oh, it needs to be put on water. Of course it does. Fine. Can we then put it maybe on this little lake here? We could, but the wind power generation there is not good. It is not good at all. We could put one just here, look, just offshore. In Leith, it's connected to the power. We're putting it in the sewage. It's just a sewage outflow pipe. Leith, like, I don't know what it is, but it's going to generate the power that we need, and that's all that really matters. There we go. The sewage outflow pipe is going to need to be dealt with at some point, because already, look, the plume of just raw wizarding effluence that is flowing around the edge of what will ultimately be just like the pearl, the gemstone in Snow Britannia's northern region. Of course, the great and glorious city of Inverness. I mean, the great and glorious city of Edinburgh. or whatever we end up calling it, is going to be here, and it needs to be sort of, you know, wonderful. So we're going to have to save up a lot of money and basically just get rid of all of this stuff, clean up the area, and build, you know, a truly glorious and wondrous place for all wizarding kind to make their home. It shall be wonderful. Oh yes, it shall be wonderful. But anyway, we're building residential. That's what we need. The north shore of Inverness needs just a little bit of like that, I guess. That'll probably do us. We need to get some water over here, and we'll need to get some power over here as well. Let's get some water over to the north shore. There we go. Get some power over to the north shore as well. Just have that come across there. Oh yes, it's so beautiful. And then we'll just fill it all in. We'll maybe put like a park of some sort down here. Can we fit? Like, I never leave enough room for large parks. It's terrible. Or even small parks for that matter. Can we look? They're so huge though. Small parks are huge. I don't know why they call them small parks when clearly they are vast. Vast and terrible things that also need to be put on straight roads only. And I never build straight roads. I don't know how. I just don't know how to build straight roads. Look, we're going to put a large park just on the very edge. I mean, a small park on the very edge of the North Shore, and people are gonna find lovely things to do there. We'll also put a carousel in, shall we? We'll put a carousel right there. There we go. There we go. Why not? Everyone likes a good carousel every now and again, don't they? Fill up this. Just fill up this whole area. We can always demolish some of these houses if we need to, in order to expand and make it better. Latest news, surgery performed by robots, doctors on permanent coffee break. Wow, who would have thought it? Who would have thunk that such a thing was even possible? Remember to have a look at the newly unlocked services. Oh, that's right, we unlocked transport services, didn't we? Buses and taxis. Should we make a taxi depot? Let's start with taxi depots, because they're nice and simple. We'll stick a taxi depot in Inverness. We'll stick one just there, just on the edge of the city. Oh, the people don't like it. People don't like having a taxi depot near them. Alright, bearing in mind that people don't like having taxi depots actually near them, let's put this taxi depot. We do not have enough money for this taxi depot. We're down to 14,000 wizard bucks. We're only making 526 wizard bucks. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of wizarding bucks. Our rapid expansion needs to fill out so that we can actually start making decent sums of money once again. Let's notch up the speed, and let's find somebody interesting to go and take a look at. Brittany Graham, waiting for a yellow cab. Where? You're waiting for a yellow taxi cab in your house? Okay. Is it come yet? Robert Young, thanks, Mayor. What does it smell a mountain? It smells like classic. Thanks, Mayor, for supporting the timber industry. A huge step towards a greener tomorrow. You're welcome, Robert Young. You are also at home, though. Again, the lack of mobile data signal causing problems for the people of Snow Britannia. They can only text when they're at home. Or they can only tweet anyway when they're at home, which we feel bad about. We should really put some like mobile phone masts or something. I don't think that's a thing, but if there was a thing, we should totally do it. William Cook, are you outside? No, you're at home as well. Everyone's always at home. It's fine. New buildings? What new fire buildings did we unlock? Oh yes, disaster recovery. Look, we can build a disaster response unit. A disaster response unit sends out helicopters and trucks carrying personnel to help clear rubble and rescue survivors. They handle both disaster aftermath and burned down buildings. After the response unit has done their work, the ground is free for rebuilding. Oh, then we wouldn't have to like deal with buildings ourselves. That sounds like highly appealing. It only costs 15,000, but it has £640 a week, or dollars, wizarding buck a week out. upkeep, which is quite a lot for us at the moment. We should probably hold off a little bit on that. Just hold off a little bit. Hopefully there'll be no disasters in the meantime. We could put a short radio mast up. What was I talking about? Literally, mobile data signals. A short radio mast allows emergency broadcast to reach your citizens. The better radio coverage the city has, the more likely citizens are to come to shelters when called. Terrain can hinder radio signals. Oh, uh-oh. That's going to be good. That's going to be good. We need to build shelters before it's worth building the radio masts. But, I mean, you know, we'll get to that. We'll get to that amongst many other things that we will eventually get to. This is lovely. Look. The comedians. Comedians for. Good. I mean, the city's coming along really nicely. I really like this little northern expansion that we've got going on. Obviously, there's still loads that we can do down here in the south. We've got the whole city of Edinburgh to make at some point. Woolen socks are the best thing ever, says Stephanie White. You're probably right, Stephanie. Look, there she is, running along. Stephanie, you actually got a mobile data signal. This is amazing. Look, she's so thrilled about the fact that she got a mobile data signal whilst on an epic trek to, I don't know, somewhere, possibly home. Are you going home? Do you live up here in this little part of North Wizards Ferry, I think is maybe where we are. Look, there we go. You've arrived home at the Emerson residence, and a very fine residence it is too. Whilst I think about it, there was a request. King of the Bruce requested the best house. Now, as I recall, the best house was the best house. This one, right up here. I'm pretty sure this was the best house, the Ivy residence, or possibly this one is like even better because it's slightly larger and has an even more commanding view. It was either that one or it was possibly one of these. Maybe this one. Oh, wow, I don't know. I'm not sure. I tell you what, King of the Bruce, would you like the best house in North Wizards Ferry or the best house in Glass Hills? Because I can't remember which is which, if I'm honest. Either of them can be yours for the low, low price of posting a comment. So let me know, and we shall take it from there. What else needs to be done? Look, we're back up to 21,000. We're making 1,377 wizard bucks a week. We do have a fire. We have a big fire on the hill. We better get a fire station here. Quick fire station, rural fire station. We need Inverness needs some rural fire station coverage somewhere urgently, like as soon as possible. Across the river, here, somewhere, here. So I've built too much stuff. Quick, we need a road. Let's have a road up here. Oh, that park, the cursed park. Taking up too much space. Let's make this a straight road. Like that. There we go. Fire station. Fire station. Emergency. Emergency. There's an emergency going on. It's still going on. The slope is too steep. Pow! Alright, we've got a fire station. We've got a fire station in Inverness. I'm not sure if it's actually enormously closer than the fire station in the south, but it's wow. Okay, we've got major fire going on the hill. The Monster Tree Hill, which will now be known as Great Fire Hill, is experiencing a catastrophe of a blazing inferno at the moment. In come the fire engines, roaring in, trying to find what's going on. I don't know, like, it's just, hopefully this fire doesn't spread to the city, because, I mean, I don't see how it can, except possibly by the trees. Now that the Wizarding Fire Department is there, though, hopefully they'll be able to do something about it. Look, this one little fire engine just drove in, looked around, was just like, nothing we can do, folks. Nothing we can do. More stuff being burnt down. Thanks for supporting the timber industry. Maybe we need one of those disaster recovery, disaster response agencies. Where is it? Disaster response agency. We need you. Disaster response. 640 a week. We can just about afford it. Cost 15 grand. We can just about afford it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're building a disaster response agency down here in the populous south. It's huge. The disaster response agency is absolutely massive. Where can it go? Maybe in the middle then? The slope is too steep. Can't be built on water. The slope is too steep. Here on the outskirts of Inverness, the disaster response, massive. It's just like there's a huge amount of like land been reclaimed here to build our enormous disaster response agency, and it's going to be needed because look, the entire hillside is ablaze, and frankly our fire engines don't seem to be able to respond to it. Come on people, look, we need some more dramatic music. Cities Radio, give us something dramatic. The disaster response agency does not have power. Its first and most critical issue is to gain power for itself. Does it have water? Sort of has a bit of water. Does that count? Let's just assume that it counts. We need to launch the helicopters. Send in the disaster response teams. The population of the disaster response unit is probably larger than the entire population of Snow Britannia. Previously to its construction, we had to bring in specialists from all around the Wizarding world to man its many, many, many departments, and they shall send forth their response. There doesn't seem to be any kind of response coming from it, if we're being honest, you know, right now. It's massive, it's impressive, it's like a hugely awesome building just sat there, like bestraddling the little northern road in its magnificence and its awesomeness, preparing to deal with even the most, you know, terrifying meteor strike disaster. But they seem to be capable of dealing with the forest fire which is raging. And frankly, I don't know how to deal with the forest fire that's raging. So, I think what we're going to do, we're going to pause it, we're going to end the episode there, and I'm going to go and find out how to deal with forest fires before the entirety of Snow Britannia is consumed in a mighty blaze. A blaze to end all blaze is a blaze sent by the nefarious enemies of the wizarding people of Snow Britannia. Boris, we know where you are. We know you're responsible for this. You, the hobo wizard of doom. But you shall not succeed. We shall prevail. Snow Britannia will rise. And when it does, we shall build even more. But until then, thanks a lot for watching, everyone. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will see you later.